Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. So I was just going over yesterday's trading. Take a look here at the daily chart first. And you can see we had this doji style bar. The market really stuck sideways for almost the entire session. A little bit of a rally up. Came up short of the 7,100 mark, but settled very, very low going into the close, giving us a very bearish looking bar. So what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at this type of trend line, maybe even a trend channel. And I'm considering that maybe the market may develop into a broader sideways trading range when and if we break this bullish trend line. Remember, a break of a bullish trend line is going to encourage a little bit more buying before the sellers try to take over. So you need to prepare for that. In the meantime, we just had the opening buzzer, and it looks like a fairly bearish overnight session, certainly pre-market. There must have been a report that came out here, which is typical about an hour before the market opens. A lot of times there's news that hits the trading floor. Before the 24-hour sessions were as popular as they are today, these kinds of reports would lead to some very serious opening gaps or a lot of activity off of the open. But you can see that was kind of the highlight right there, and definitely putting a bit of a bearish spin on the day, although we're kind of hitting the skids here a little bit. Nice little green bar sell here on the Eagle, which was your first in-sync Eagle signal, and the market's certainly getting down there, finding its profit objective on that one. Would have had comparable signals across the board on all our tools. Oh, speaking of tools, tomorrow, Friday, we're going to try our second Rabbit Hole Friday, and I have a very interesting indicator for you that I'm going to feature. You know, for a lot of people always wondering, you know, how do I avoid the chop? How do I qualify the best signals? Well, I think I have a solution for you, and I think you're going to be really, really pleased with this particular indicator. All right. Well, we kind of hit a little bit of a slump. You know, depending how aggressive you want it to be on this right now, you could treat this as your sideways trading range. You could treat this move here as your breakout. You could put your just in case order down here. That was a quick little hesitation. I suppose I could have put my buy order above here also. But what I'm looking for is, there we go, a little bit more of a retest now. And what I can do with that is I can, and again, it depends on how aggressive you want to be with this trade, but now you can put your just in case order to buy. So what we're looking at is we've qualified a little bit of a sideways trading range, a little bit of a breakout. The retest, the market should continue in the direction of the breakout. Failure to do so is going to open up the possibility of a rally. Now, the buy is obviously counter trend, so you need to be very, very careful with that. All right, well, there we go. We got the buy. I'll bring my exit order 2 swings back. This is the eagle, of course, the bar values being worth a whole lot more. Let's just see where the next support and resistance area is. So it looks like we got primary support up here. I will set a profit target somewhere around there. Okay, go back now to the eagle to try to manage this. And you can see we're testing the top end of this little trading range that we identified. Stop it. It's not cooperating. There's got to be a way. Why is it not saving that? I have all those defaults. Why is it not saving? Okay. I can roll my stops up a little bit more. In fact, when I break, if we break this high at 7,000, I'm going to bring my stops up really quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to chicken out. I'm going to put it right there. That's all they're going to get. It's very aggressive on my part. Even if I draw a trend line, you can see the trend line would put my stops back here somewhere near the hard edge. I just don't feel like giving them too much room here. So if the buyers are serious, they got to go. Okay, well, there we go. We got a little bit of a hop up. Let's see if they can get now to my profit objective. Or if they're going to tap me here at break even. No! Get away. Again, I'm very, very aggressive with my stop on this play. If I left my stop back near the hard edge, the market has a much better chance of working out on this trade. I need to see a couple of bullish bars. Getting a lot of flinching going on here around 7,000. Yeah, all right. Well, it was worth the try. Like I said, probably just a little bit too aggressive on my stop loss order. As the market comes back now, retests the hard edge. away for now. Oh, look at this. We're starting to get some mixed signals here. The hawk is kind of bearish, or it was. The falcon as well with the trend line. Now we're kind of bouncing back and forth. All right, again, depending how aggressive you want to be on this, assuming this was your sideways trading range, this was your breakout, this now is your just in case order to buy. You could put your just in case order to sell down here as well. Very aggressive trading, given that this is right in the middle of the trading range, tiny as it is. Okay, the falcon waffling here a little bit. Got a couple hard edge bounce signals. Got a number one signal here on the Raptor. Got the first micro macro cross coming in a little bit late here on the Hawk. We'll look at this one from the Raptors perspective this time. Okay, like I said, the market's a little bit pinched. I would probably favor a buy, I think, just given the direction of the band. Well, here we go with the number two signal. I'm not keen on shorting until, of course, we get below this low. There's where my just in case order sits. But this is essentially a bracketable trade. I'll throw my profit order down there. Okay, well, they're going to try to take it to the short side, so let's get rid of the bullish profit target. Let's see if they have any giddy up. My high probability profit target would be just past this secondary support zone. And you can see part of the problem of trading mid-range. If we identified that as our trading range. Now, the influence of this support zone will fade as the morning goes on. It looks like it's still having some influence, however. For the time being. Okay, here we go now with the proper number 1 signal, and that's probably my cue to bring my stops in a bit. And I'm going to follow these bars that have these little wicks to them. Try to protect a little bit more open profit. Here too, if you stayed 2 swings back, you probably will ride out any pullback. But you know what? I'm okay taking the profit. Call me old-fashioned. You can see our trading range getting a little bit broader now as we see these breakouts and failures. Eventually, one of these breakouts will stick. Now, just a reminder, if I were trading a trading quota, or if I had a dollar quota on the day, let's say of $100 per contract, I have made my trade quota on that one trade right there. So my day would be done. Rather than try to risk taking another trade, remember the money is made in the multiples, not in the frequency. We don't make more money by trading more often. Nice little late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. Actually, that coincided with the trend change signal. Don't know where I was looking when that was going on. Gave you a second push opportunity on it, so you could be long this market right now, and it's looking like it should try to push on through, maybe get back here to the secondary resistance line at 69.97 3/4. I've mentioned before, though, when the market is mid-range like this, if you identify this as your trading range, we know that the buyers tend to hang out down here. The sellers tend to be up here. And everything in the middle, well, that's no man's land. So be careful. If the market seems to be trading mid-range, it could be tough going. Well, a lot of back and forth right now. The Falcon signal hitting its profit objective up here. Oh, coming actually with a follow-up signal. And coinciding with the number one signal here on the Raptor. All right, here we go. We're near the top end. Let's see if we get a second push opportunity on this, just because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of selling here around that 7,000 zone. And this is going to be a second push now on my number one signal that produced right here. So I'm going to look to buy up here. I've got my buy stop ready on my trade calculator, and it looks like I'm going to be risking about $175 to make this trade work. Ooh, okay. This is why a second push signal is sometimes a good idea. So we're getting a definite pushback from the top end of this trading range. So once again, the market kind of putting itself in a bit of a twist. So you can put your just in case order to buy up here. If we get a couple of bullish bars, one isn't enough for me. I like to see a couple of bullish bars. I will throw a short order below here. And we're getting a hard edge bounce. So we've probably got a number 3 signal going on the Raptor as well. Yes, we do. I can turn off the trade calculator right now. You're going to notice that this signal here is going to be very, very close to a trend line breach. Again, I'm not going to take it right on the breach because a trend line breach actually encourages buying. See, when the trend line broke here, see, this was the original trend line. It broke here. What happened? It didn't go lower. It went higher. That's what a lot of people forget about. All right, they're sneaking up on the top end of the trading range. Okay, this yet another number 3 signal off the hard edge. All right, there we go. So here again, I'll set my profit objective. Relatively modest profit target really, but why ask for trouble? All right, I got a couple of bars in my favor and got the trade to break even. Ooh, the market's got some giddy up. All right, let's close out the remaining order. Again, I may have been a little bit quick with my stop, but you know what? I get to a point where if I have a certain amount of profit, I don't want to lose that. So I get my stops in there pretty tight. And it very likely was too soon. I don't doubt for a moment that we will see the primary support zone, maybe even the median line at 70.26. We spent a fair amount of time around the 70.30, 70.40 zone yesterday, so it's not like those prices are out of reach. But in order to get there, I'd also have to run a much more liberal stop. And I just didn't want to let all that open profit get away. I mentioned it before. When it comes to trading, you will learn a lot about yourself. Your tolerance for risk, your tolerance for greed, and I'm not saying greed in a bad way. I'm saying, like in a Gordon Gekko kind of way. For those of you old enough to remember that movie reference. All right, a little bit of a swing now, just ever so slight. And they're holding below the primary support zone a little. All right, this now the big pushback from the sellers. So remember, when you get the breakout, you're going to get the retest. Once again, you can put your just in case order above here in case the buyers get it together. I'd love to see a little bit of a bounce here so I could frame up a trade to the short side as well. The buyers have had several opportunities to put in a rally here, and they've done okay, but when you look at how much they've actually gained, they've really only gained about 10 points, not a whole lot. So to see the sellers try to knock them down again, okay, there we go. Might not be all that unreasonable. So all I'm looking for now is a test of the extreme, a failure. I'm kind of favoring the short side. We're going to get a number 2 signal here on the Raptor. I could use the trade calculator to put that together. But like I said, I'll just play my just in case order right now. Okay, here we go. There's our test of the extreme, essentially making a double top. And we should come back now with that number 2 signal. You can see we're conflicted though. The hawk is all over the map here. It's trying to get bearish. It's trying to get bullish. Likewise with the falcon. Oop, might have fooled myself on that one. All right, well, let's close that out then. No, or are they going to hold up? Definitely conflicted at this point. You know what? I'm going to put my just in case order back. We may actually be working a late filter entry to buy. Oh, there it just kind of slipped past me. No, I'm trying to be a little bit too bearish here. The market's not in a bearish mood. In fact, it's getting a lot more bullish. Okay, well, for a moment there, it looked like we may actually get something resembling a trend, but now we're kind of hitting the sideways skid. A couple of late filter entries again, so the late filter entry getting up there near its profit objective. Well, do I dare? We're going to get a number 2 signal here shortly, and I am so tempted to try to short it. Where are you? The Raptor should be one of the first tools here to give us a shorting opportunity. Let's see, do we have a red bar buy in the Hawk? Almost. We've got the early trend change signal here in the Falcon. Come on, where's that number 2 signal? There it is. Okay. I'm going to pull my stop loss order out of the way. Okay, now I can bring my stop loss order back. We should be able to reach our profit target here. We're just a little past the hard edge, which is usually the profit objective for this trade. No! You stinkers. So they follow up my number 2 signal with a number 3 signal. Ugh. A much better test of the extreme than the first one was. Nuts. I'm going to get tagged. Well, it was a good idea, or it seemed like a good idea. See, they're likely just to break the high here by a tick or two and then a reverse, but I may as well take my lumps. Darn it. Frank, sorry I missed your comment here. Frank's asking, good morning, can we have multiple SIM accounts in Ninja 8 like Ninja 7? Absolutely, you can. You just have to go to your control panel and set up your accounts. It's probably here under options. Here we go, default account. So I think you can just type in another account name. There's got to be a way to do it. I'm sure there is. The best thing to do actually is shoot an email to Ninja Support. They're very good at responding. They will get back to you very shortly. All right, well, kind of blew it on that one. But, you know, it just kind of proves the point that I was trying to make, that you don't want to be trading more than you need to. Oh, okay, here I got the solution. Keith and Paul coming to the rescue. Go to the Accounts tab, right-click in the middle of the window, then drop down, choose Add Simulation Account. Nope, that's not the one. No, that's not the one. Where the heck did they put the Accounts tab? Okay. No, that's not the one. Oh, down here. Thanks, Paul. There we go. All right. Okay, so select the tab, go to the middle, add simulation account. All right. Whew. Thank goodness for you guys. Well, I kind of blindsided myself on that last trade, thinking the market has to go lower. No, no, it does not. Well, now we're kind of in a holding pattern again. My goodness, the market just really dragging. It's always easier to trade when the market kind of has a little bit of momentum to it. Well, everything's very, very quiet, like Elmer Fudd used to say. Yeah, absolutely. Frank asked, can we take a look at the EMD? That's the mid cap. Just pull it up for you here. I just did it on the Raptor. And yeah, you're right, Frank. It's a pretty good instrument to trade. The nice thing about the mid cap is once it settles on a direction, it seems to stay with it. The downside with the mid cap is it is $10 a tick instead of $5 a tick. So each of these bars is going to be a little bit more money. But it's another one of these instruments that's going to be in sync with the rest of your stock indices. The E-mini, the mid-cap, the Russell, they're all going to move more or less the same. Well, not quite a sideways range, at least not on the Eagle. I was going to look for an excuse to bracket something, look for a breakout and a retest. How are we holding the trend line? Actually, not bad. We do have looks like a little bit of a trend channel going on. Yeah, Mark says just waiting for that pesky wabbit. Oh, isn't trading exciting? All right. Well, okay, I got this number 3 signal right here. I'm going to try it. So I'm just going to take this now as my second push. It hasn't developed yet, I realize. But I did have this bar here as well. We're on the other side of the median line. And let's see, I'm going to stretch this a little bit. Just see if we get back around that 70-40 zone where, of course, we spent a fair amount of time yesterday. Wow, the lack of follow through here this morning is impressive. I guess the market's waiting on something. I'm not quite sure what. It's awfully early for the market to be this quiet. If it were Friday, I'd say, yeah, okay, well, it's Friday. So, oh my goodness. I just checked the time. I thought, oh, it's got to be near the lunch hour. That's why the market is winding down. Nope. No, we're only an hour in. Crazy. All right. Well, now we got a little bit of a push up. And that's it. That's it. Come on, let's go. Get up there. Well, I don't know. Just looking for that little bit of bullish follow through. That didn't happen. Yeah, now they're getting a little bit of downside momentum. Wow, that was just flat out crazy. Well, whatever news they were waiting on, they got it now. And there was that bearish move that I've been looking for all morning. I like it better when I just get my early trade and then stop. The president must have tweeted something. Well, strong move lower. And now we can be on the lookout for, again, a reaction, a possible test of the extreme. The market definitely bearish, so you could throw your just in case order to short below there. I don't know if I want to try another buy or not after the bottom fell out. Well, careful what you wish for, Eric. You got loads of, or there was nothing volatility wise. Now we got loads of volatility. Well, the good thing is, in spite of that big move lower, the market is kind of in the sideways or developing a little bit of a sideways zone. Frank says, I hear there's a hug Trump indicator being developed, and it's the biggest ever. I honestly thought about naming the next indicator a Trump indicator. Okay, here we've got a late filter entry signal. I think given the increased volatility now, it may be better to actually wait for a second push opportunity. So the second push opportunity would mean buying above here. And the signal's going to spoil here in a moment if we've got a little bit of a trend line change going on. Oh, actually, here comes the Raptor now with a number 2 signal. So we're getting a couple of different signals going on. Might take a look at doing a second push on that number 2 signal. You know what? Anything within this range is going to be dangerous. All right, well, here we go. It's for the trading room. And let's see if I can't stretch this one out a little bit. So I don't know if we're going to see it get all the way back down here toward the secondary support zone. We have been down around 69.80 this morning, where the market took a little bit of a bounce. Like I said, not exactly the best looking signal. Anytime you are trading within a range, so we definitely have a sideways range here. It's a very, very big sideways range now. Anytime you're trading within a sideways range, it's always going to be dicey. It's always going to be difficult. Much easier to wait until the market gets up here somewhere and then look for a shorting opportunity. Or wait for the market to get down here somewhere and look for another buying opportunity, because we already know this is where the sellers are, this is where the buyers are. In the middle, well, you may as well flip a coin, really. And then, of course, once we do get the breakout, well, then we have the breakout, the retest. Now we can kind of pinch the market, right? We can throw our order to buy in up there. If we get the retest confirmed, we can throw our order to short in here. See this trade, the proper stop, here, let's do the proper stop. We're just goofing around now anyways. The proper stop for this trade is actually, believe it or not, way up there. So this is the kind of situation where all of a sudden you find yourself in a looking at a trade and saying, ooh, okay, well, if I'm going to leave my stop 2 swings back, I've got to put it up here. That's more than I can afford. I'm not going to take the trade. But that's very likely the stop that we need to ride out any kind of swing, because you're going to see here as we get a little bit closer to these highs, the sellers are going to show up. Likewise, if we break the bottom end of this trading range, well, now we can throw our just in case order to short there. And if the market gives us a reaction on the retest, now we can bracket the trade this way. And we're in a much better situation to try to make some profit on this move. But so long as you're in the middle, it's always going to be difficult. So now if I make another swing lower, if I get a couple of bars here in my direction, at that point I can effectively call this a double top. It's not exactly 2 swings back, but it's sort of 2 swings back. We do have the 2 swings, or a swing and a half right now. We don't have the confirmation just yet. No, not yet. Again, looking for at least a couple of bars lower. Well, looks like the sellers blew it all out on that move right there. They got nothing left. Well, looks like the best opportunity came early today. All right, I got a couple of bearish bars. Let's see if I can get a third one. Notice too how, had I placed my stop right there, how the market tags me out, only to react afterwards. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your trading is to leave a proper stop. And you know what? If you can't afford the proper stop, then avoid the trade, really. It's as simple as that. All right, here we go in that sideways mode again. They got me all excited there for a moment. We had all that volatility and now nothing. All right, a couple more bear bars. Give me that third one, and I'll feel a little bit better about rolling my stop up. I want to see where the sellers are digging in, where they're going to actually try to move the market again. Then I'll know it's safe to, or reasonably safe to start rolling my stop. In theory, anyways, even or any trade can be profitable if you have a large enough stop to go with it. Okay, looks like that's it. The seller's showing up. Now we're getting some pushback here. Wow.
They just keep insisting on doing this sideways nonsense. All right, gang, we're going to button up shop here for the morning. If you're looking for another opportunity today, wow, I think it's really going to mean getting outside of this trading range that we're in. Like I said, so long as we're inside that trading range, it's going to be really, really tough trading. So, yeah, it's pretty much a waiting game at this point. As prices get toward the top end of the range, you can look for shorting opportunities. As it gets toward the bottom end of the range, you can look for buying opportunities. Tomorrow is Friday, and we'll take a look at our next Rabbit Hole Friday tools, and hopefully it will be something that will be helpful. All right, we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.